What's up everyone? Alex here. Tales of Arise's fiery release back in 2021 reminded the JRPG community of why Tales is the quintessential action RPG franchise. Despite its cultural footprint within the history of JRPGs, however, preservation for this acclaimed series has been less than desirable, with only a handful of titles easily accessible on modern platforms. Given that the series has been going on strong for over 3 decades, there are several beloved titles that fans new and old would surely love to play, either to relive a classic or to gain newfound appreciation for how the series has changed and grown over the years. With all that in mind, here are 5 Tales games that absolutely deserve remasters. Tales of Rebirth is the only one on this list that I haven't played, and that's for a very good reason. It was never released outside of Japan. While there are a number of entries that similarly have never seen the light of day outside the land of the rising sun, Tales of Rebirth is arguably the one that fans will point to as being the most desirable. The vast majority of Japan-only Tales games happen to be spin-offs, sequels, and handheld entries that are probably fine games in their own right, but don't quite feel like essential releases. This is why Tales of Rebirth is different, as it remains one of the few mainline entries that we simply never got. To pour salt on the wound, many die-hard fans who have played this game have sung its praises, hailing it as not simply a strong entry, but one of the best in the series, given its darker toned narrative and unique take on combat. This game absolutely deserves a remaster, because most of us currently don't have the opportunity to play it at all, and it would be great to finally release it around the world. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that Tales of Graces F single-handedly saved the series in the West. After the disappointing sales of Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, new games were getting announced and released, but none were being localized. It was truly a dark time to be a Western Tales fan. After a 4-year dry spell, Tales of Graces F finally released and firmly re-established the franchise with strong sales. However, more than just being a significant title in the role it played, it's also a great game in its own right. While not the most complex narratively, it makes up for it by generally being a fun and lighthearted journey coupled with an endearing cast to accompany it. However, the real draw has got to be its combat. The new mechanics introduced in this title translated into a stronger emphasis on blocking and dodging, dramatically increasing the speed of combat as a result. On top of that was a completely new combo system that added a level of technicality that felt closer to playing a full-blown action game, complete with perfect parries and an entire combo tree unique to each character. To this day, many fans consider this to be one of, if not, the best combat system in the series, and that alone is reason enough for a remaster. I know I'm cheating a little bit by including 2 entries, but chances are, if a remaster were to happen, they should absolutely be bundled together. Anyways, Tales of Xillia is an incredibly solid entry. In fact, for a good long while, whenever I was personally asked where someone should start if they wanted to get into the Tales series, I often pointed to Tales of Xillia, as it is easily one of the most well-rounded entries. Good story, great characters, and good combat all come together for a tight experience. The sequel, Tales of Xillia 2, is a messier but arguably more interesting game, as it veered on the more experimental side. There's time travel, dimension hopping, a weird debt system where you periodically have to pay off a certain amount of money at fixed intervals, weapon switching during combat, and nearly double the amount of party members compared to the first one. It truly felt like they threw in everything and the kitchen sink, for better or worse. The quality of the 2 games aside though, one huge benefit from a remaster would simply be that these games did not run very well on a PS3. All in all, these 2 deserve a remaster because not only would it be a lot of bang for your buck, but it would be great to see these games reach their full potential, rather than being held back by the limitations of aging hardware. The Tales Holy Trinity is a term commonly used amongst fans to refer to Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, and of course, Tales of the Abyss. Many consider these three to be the best entries in the franchise. However, despite two of these getting remasters already, that has yet to happen with Tales of the Abyss. With arguably the absolute best narrative and cast in the series, it's such a shame that one of the most revered games in this trinity isn't so readily available. With a twisting plot, deep characters, and solid combat, this is a game that more than holds up today. Tales of the Abyss absolutely needs a remaster, so that the holy trinity of Tales games can finally be reunited. The reason why this game deserves a remaster is simple. This is where it all started. More than being the first Tales game, it's literally a part of JRPG history. And the fact that the only way to play the origin of this legendary franchise is to track down the infamously terrible GBA port is an absolute crime. Tales of Phantasia is a wonderful title that holds up remarkably well, and shows just how much of the formula was nailed right from the beginning. This is a classic JRPG in every sense, from the beautiful music, the excellent sprite work, and surprisingly well-written story that has stood the test of time. Even if the game does show its age in a few spots, there's no reason to not allow everyone to experience it for themselves. To put it simply, Tales of Phantasia deserves a remaster because this is where the foundation was laid, and even going beyond the series itself, this is an influential title that has inspired JRPGs as a whole. And that, my friends, are 5 Tales games that absolutely deserve remasters. This is a series with a lot of titles, with a ton of other great entries that weren't mentioned that also could use some modern spit and polish for a brand new re-release. That said, I want to hear what you think. Which Tales games would you like to see get the remaster treatment? Have you played some of these Japanese-only Tales games? Post your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.